Hello, good evening. It's News360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu Data. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal, EcoBank.
Tonight, Transparency International Ghana condemns incidents of vote buying and inducement in recent primaries. Meanwhile, the NDC parliamentary candidate-elect for Ayawaso East, Baba Jamal, says he is ready to cooperate fully with investigations.
Also coming up tonight, President John Mahama urges West African governments to take deliberate and practical action on migration of skilled health professionals.
And later in the bulletin, rising epilepsy cases in Ashanti region prompt Health Directorate to promote awareness, treatment access, and end discrimination.
Coming up in business news, government commences disbursement of 1 billion cedis to settle outstanding debts owed to local Ghanaian contractors.
On the international front, Palestinians, Arab countries, and Israel anti-occupation groups condemn new steps approved by Israel's Security Cabinet for the occupied West Bank.
We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
We're starting from the political front, and over the weekend there was quite a heated action in the Ayawaso East constituency. Well, all eyes are on the National Democratic Congress as its much anticipated probe into allegations of vote buying in the Ayawaso East constituency begins. But beyond the headlines, a bigger question looms. Is this a genuine attempt to confront the monetization of politics or a mere face-saving exercise after public backlash? Judith Brown has more on this report.
It all started on the Ayawaso East parliamentary by-election grounds, where delegates were openly seen flaunting various items, including TV sets, fridges, motorbikes, and cash sums. The act, which many said amounted to vote buying, sparked mixed reactions among party members and the general public.
As a whole High Commissioner, a public figure, His Excellency, came out sharing all kind of vote buying in the daylight. That's totally wrong.
The grounds was good, so there's nothing like vote buying. That thing couldn't have changed anybody's mind at that 9th hour.
This was followed by a number of statements from the party, the president, and the majority caucus in Parliament. While the president recalled the winning candidate Baba Jamal's appointment as High Commissioner to Nigeria, the party NEC instituted a probe into the matter. The majority in Parliament, however, called for the immediate annulment of the parliamentary primary in the Ayawaso East constituency, with Tuesday, February 10, being the deadline for the submission of a report by the 3-member committee. Some analysts insist the investigative committee is a clear demonstration of internal accountability. For President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, the NDC's stance sends a strong signal that money must not replace merit in political competition.
The NDC must be setting examples for others to follow. And it's important that in this reset agenda, these examples must be set. The people involved must be investigated, fished out, punished, probably banned for the next 5 or 10 elections, so that they don't contest the elections. That's how stringent we should be.
However, some critics remain unconvinced. They argue that similar allegations in the past have often ended with reports gathering dust, while entrenched practices remain untouched. Political analyst Dr. Samuel Ifrie says drastic action is needed to curb the phenomenon of vote buying in Ghana's politics.
If they will start and try to implement the outcome of this committee, I think it would be good for the NDC especially, because the way it is so embarrassing and so disgraceful to our democracy when you see people sharing these things, and it's so embarrassing.
While Baba Jamal himself, the man at the center of the storm, has expressed his commitment to availing himself to the investigative committee, Baba Jamal insists he was not aware of the act.
I will make myself available for any investigation to go on so that our names will be cleared. I also heard it later that some TVs were shared. And now, do you now know the problem I have? Now, a lot of people, because I think they didn't share for everybody. Now, everybody is coming to my office here asking for TV, and now I don't have TV.
He says he won a fair contest.
I have not done anything wrong, and for that matter, I am sure I have earned a genuine victory, and for that matter, I will be allowed to go on.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor has also instituted investigations into alleged vote buying during the NDC Ayawaso East Primary. Section 34 of PNDC Law 284 prohibits the offence of cheating in elections. An act described as corruptly giving, providing, or paying wholly or in part the expenses of giving or providing meat, drink, or entertainment, either personally or through another person, before, during, or after an election. The party's actions following the probe will be a major determining factor as to whether this was a genuine challenge to the monetization of politics or merely damage control following public backlash. For now, many Ghanaians will be watching closely. Will this be a turning point in the fight against money politics or another missed opportunity? Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Meanwhile, Nima Ayawaso Zongo chiefs, led by Zabama Chief Seydou Hassan Hussein Louis, are urging authorities to drop plans to rerun NDC primaries. They say Baba Jamal's win was legitimate.
No matter what, during elections, one will come out victorious. Honorable Baba Jamal has won the election, and we the chiefs are congratulating him for coming out victoriously. May the Almighty Allah guide him and bless him. We are appealing to everyone to give out their support to the winner and the loser, because they are all ours. No differences among us. Now that Baba Jamal has become victorious, we are going to work out so that we all work together with one common goal. What's the goal for? It's how to unite the people of Nima, how to clean up Nima, how to see that our streets are very tidy, how to see that our gutters are very tidy, and so forth and so on. Our youth, they need to become soldiers, they need to become policemen, fire service officers, and other important jobs.
We are living peacefully in this community, and we need to move ahead with the peace. Nima has to be united, and already Nima is united. So if they say they are going to cancel the elections, we don't know what is going to happen. So let us keep the result as it is. There's no election there's no problem in it. We know what we are in Nima. So if the result is kept the way it is, I think we'll live peacefully.
Well, the developments from over the weekend has stoked quite a public conversation on whether or not monetization is taking a chokehold on our politics. And some civil society groups have been talking or sharing their opinion on it. One has been CDD Ghana. We also have Transparency International Ghana. And they are strongly condemning the reported incidents of vote buying and inducement in recent primaries, including that of the NPP's presidential primaries and the recently concluded Ayawaso East constituency primary of the National Democratic Congress. And we'll take you through some of the key issues they are raising. For instance, they say that citizens should prioritize national development over personal gains, and that political parties should implement internal protocols to prevent vote buying. They continue to say the courts should adjudicate such cases expeditiously, and the OSP should receive full institutional and citizen support to investigate and prosecute all implicated persons. So those are the highlights of the statement from the Transparency International. Let's now go to the phone and engage Madam Mary Awolana Ada, who's Executive Director of Transparency International Ghana. Madam, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Martin, and good evening to your cherished viewers.
To start with, the condemnations have been far and wide, but I think there is an underlying concern, which is that monetization, or monocracy as they call it, is taking a strong foothold in Ghana's politics. How, in your estimation, can we address this head on?
So before that, let me recount some of the things we have done in the past, which have also resulted in calls for the type of electoral democracy to be changed. We have monitored the processes of elections, documenting vote buying, and made recommendations during those electioneering periods, which have gone unheeded, as we have spoken to in our statement. We have also had opportunity, as recent as the last elections in 2024, to do same. And we have indicated the incremental nature of the vote buying as it has gone on from election to election, all on deaf ears. But then we still believe that something can be done, because money is taking over credibility, and money is taking over the quality of the elections and the products we would be churning out if we do not take care. And it means also that money is going to remove the very quality we may be having if we allow fair process to go on. And today we are seeing that those who have more are the people who secure the candidature to go on to become either a member of parliament or whatever political position they are contesting. That's unfortunate. So for us, we believe that going forward, there are various levels at which this can be dealt with. And number one is posturing. Posturing in the sense that if accountability is being demanded from the appointing authority, then it would serve as a deterrent to all those who want to be complicit in this activity, to ensure that they do not do so.
Right.
Number two is the role of the political party. The political parties are those who are at the forefront, are those who are able to then determine who becomes a candidate. And they put in place the rules of procedure to ensure this happens. So if we are to nip the bud of money in politics and also the vote buying phenomena from our politics, I believe the role of the political parties cannot be discounted.
Right.
If they put in place rules that every candidate who is standing for elections must not be seen or heard dealing in any of such activities, and if they do so, they would be sanctioned punitively, then it would also help us with this. Then the role of enforcement becomes the third level or the third layer, the state apparatus and how effective enforcement is within this space.
Okay, Madam, for lack of time, let me come in briefly and kindly indulge me. My next question would have to do with what you just said, which has to do with the fact that the political parties need to take action. And I'm sure your use of political party would mean both parties, the two leading parties, that is, because both of them are heading into their executive primaries for constituency, regional, national, and this is likely to be one of the major hurdles they need to cross. So would you advise a bipartisan approach to solving this, since it affects both sides?
That would be ideal, But for a start, I believe that this serves as a very good example to utilize in modeling what structure we want to see going forward. A bipartisan approach would be ideal. But then, until then, let's see how the NDC party in itself is going to investigate this and then also come up with the various recommendations for action. But I believe this is the best time they can put in place this best practice guide that will set the interests of Ghana and then also nip the bud of monetization from our elections if they so will and they are committed to doing this.
All right, thank you. Madam Mary Awelana Ada is Executive Director for Transparency International. Thank you for your time on this.
In more news tonight, President John Mahama has sworn in 5 new ambassadors to represent Ghana abroad, tasking them to advance the country's economic interest on the global markets. The newly appointed envoys will serve in Saudi Arabia, Mali, Cuba, Situ, and Malta. At the swearing-in ceremony, the president charged them to pursue economic diplomacy to attract foreign investments.
Ghana's diplomacy will be judged not by its ceremony alone, but by results. Your work must translate into jobs, growth, opportunities, security, and measurable benefits for our people. You are expected to pursue economic diplomacy with urgency by attracting strategic investments, expanding non-traditional exports, promoting tourism, facilitating innovation and technology transfer, and strengthening Ghana's competitiveness in global markets. Every partnership you build, every market you open, and every investor you attract must serve a broader national purpose. The government has embarked on a reset agenda grounded in integrity, efficiency, accountability, and results-driven governance. As heads of mission, you are required to reflect this national reset by moving from passive representation to purposeful engagement, from routine reporting to proactive problem-solving, and from presence to impact. Your mission plans must be firmly aligned with Ghana's development priorities.
Godspeed to our ambassadors heading out of Ghana to represent the country. Still on issues about the continent and development around the world, President John Mahama says the response of West African governments to the increasing migration of skilled health professionals must be deliberate and practical, focusing on improving working conditions. Speaking at the 66th Annual Conference of the West African Association of Surgeons at the UPSA, the president emphasized that the right environment must be created for skilled health professionals to thrive.
The president stressed the need to create the right environment, including improved working conditions to enable skilled health professionals to thrive amid rising migration within the health sector.
Also confront the renewed migration of our skilled health professionals, which is placing increasing pressure on our health systems across our countries. Our response must be deliberate and practical, improving working conditions, strengthening career pathways, enhancing professional recognition, and creating environments in which health workers can thrive and choose to serve, while also developing structured avenues to engage the expertise of professionals in the diaspora.
He again noted that government remains committed to ensuring an efficient and functional surgical system nationwide, with particular focus on underserved communities.
About producing more surgeons is equally about strengthening the teams and the systems that support safe surgery, including anesthesia, nursing, diagnostics, blood services, sterile supply chains, critical care, and reliable referral pathways. It also requires robust clinical governance, continuous professional development, and regulatory frameworks that protect patients while enabling skilled practice. The government remains committed to strengthening these foundations. We will carefully study the recommendations coming out of this conference and work with stakeholders to implement those that require immediate action while developing structured pathways for longer-term reform.
Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando pledged sustainable financing for surgical care as part of broader health sector reforms, while emphasizing the need to improve the quality and safety of surgical services.
Affordability remains one of the strongest determinants of outcomes. Across our countries, the clinical pathway is often defeated by the financial pathway. Patients delay care because they cannot pay. Families litigate assets, communities resort to public appeals, conditions worsen until interventions become more complex, more expensive, and more risky. Health financing must therefore protect patients whilst enabling facilities to deliver quality specialist services.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where the Directorate of Health Services is calling on Ghanaians to break the silence, myth and stigma surrounding epilepsy as seizure disorder cases continue to rise in the region. The Directorate says it is moving beyond awareness to real action through the launch of the Epilepsy Pledge campaign aimed at improving access to treatment and ending discrimination against persons with epilepsy.
Seizure disorder cases in the Ashanti region continue to rise, with 3,220 cases recorded in 2023, up from 2,719 in 2022. Although the figure dropped slightly to 2,968 in 2024, it rose again to 3,221 in 2025, highlighting a persistent and worrying public health trend. Health authorities say these numbers reflect not only the burden of the disease, but also the continued impact of stigma, which prevents many people from seeking early treatment.
Too often, people living with epilepsy in the Ashanti region are subjected to stigma, discrimination, and neglect, driven by the false belief that it's a spiritual curse or a contagious disease. We have to move from awareness to action. And we should ensure that no person in Ashanti region, and for that matter in the country, is left behind due to lack of understanding or access to care.
It is against this backdrop that the Ashanti Regional Directorate of Health Services launched the Epilepsy Pledge campaign as part of activities to mark International Epilepsy Day.
As the Regional Director of Health Service, I am using this platform to make a personal epilepsy pledge to improve access to care. Let all of us stop the stigma, because epilepsy is treatable. Up to 70% living with epilepsy can live a seizure-free with the right medication.
The Directorate says it is intensifying the training of health workers across the region to provide quality primary health care for people with seizure disorders. In a related development, the Directorate also raised concern about a surge in breast and cervical cancer cases in the region.
In 2024, the region recorded 18,104 cancer cases, representing 33.6% increase over the previous year.
We're staying in the Ashanti region, but this time around away from health. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Govins-Agbodza, has pushed back against claims that government is not committed to completing the Swame interchange, saying contrary to those assertions, the revised approach to the project offers a more impactful and cost-effective alternative. The Roads Minister was responding to claims by the minority in Parliament.
Following a press conference by the minority addressed by former Minister for Roads and Highways, Francis Asanso-Boakye, the current Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Govins-Agbodza, has rejected claims that the government is not prioritizing the completion of the Swame interchange project.
The statement by my colleague in Parliament and the former Minister for Roads and Highways to the effect that government was not prioritizing the Swame interchange completion is far from the truth. President Akufo-Addo declared that by the end of 2024, the Swami Interchange project would have been completed and handed over. So if my colleague, Honorable Asenso, had heeded to President Akufo-Addo's own plan, we shouldn't even be discussing the issue about whether 3-tier or 4-tier now. It is his failure.
According to him, the modification of the project presents a better alternative, offering greater impact and value for money.
The proposal for Kumasi enhances what was originally planned and would serve the people better. So our main interchange is being modified in the light of the new development within the greater Kumasi environment. The modification, together with the additional road being undertaken, would more than comprehensively deal with the traffic challenges not only at the Swami interchange but the entire greater Kumasi metropolis.
Responding to claims that the government is not committed to completing road projects in the Ashanti region, the minister described the assertion as unfounded.
President Mahama prioritizes Ashanti region, prioritizes every region, prioritizes the fact that this interchange has nothing to do with Kumasi alone. It's a national intersection and must be addressed, and that is the way we are approaching it. We are doing it for Ghana. No one, not President Mahama, not me, not my deputy, no director here has an intention of taking anything that is good away from Kumasi. Rather, we are adding 3 billion Ghana cedi extra to enhance the situation we find in Kumasi. How can you see this and say that we are not paying attention?
He further alleged that the former minister's comments were influenced by an ulterior motive rather than genuine concern for the project.
It appears his motive of picking up these issues could not be that he genuinely wants to improve it, but he's got his own motive, and I can't tell what that motive is.
In more news tonight, alleged wire fraud and romance scam suspect Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, has filed a suit against the Interior Ministry, Economic and Organized Crime Office, Narcotics Control Commission and the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation over allegations of unlawful arrest, detention and interrogation. Abu Trika was recently re-arrested after an Accra High Court discharged him following the withdrawal of charges against him by the state. Lord Edwasari has more.
In the suit filed at the High Court, Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, contends that his arrest on 11th December 2025 was carried out under conditions that amounted to torture and cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment. He avers that he was restrained in handcuffs from morning until late evening, denied food, water, rest, and other basic necessities. He further claims that he was subjected to severe physical and psychological distress while in the custody of officers of the Narcotics Control Commission, IOCO, and the Attorney General. Abu Trika further alleges that he was interrogated while handcuffed, surrounded by armed officers, threatened and intimidated, and crucially denied access to a lawyer of his choice despite repeated requests. He again alleged that agents of the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, were allowed to question him on Ghanaian soil while he was in custody and without legal representation, adding that he was compelled to sign a document, the contents of which he was oblivious to. The applicant is also challenging the search of his Swedru residence, popularly known as Abu Trika's mansion. He says the search was carried out while he was already in custody without giving him or a representative the chance to be present, an action he believes violated his rights to privacy and fair treatment. Among other things, Frederick Kumi indicated that despite explanations to the security agencies, the officials seized personal items including an iPhone 17, jewelry and watches, as well as 3 luxurious vehicles, Lamborghini, a Mercedes, and a Cybertruck, which he stated belonged to clients. He's seeking 10 million Ghana cedis in compensation, arguing that the alleged violations have caused him serious emotional distress, reputational damage, and lasting psychological harm. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's go on to some other stories. And management of the W.E.B. Du Bois Memorial Center for Pan-African Culture has announced plans to undertake a major renovation of the facility from 1st April 2026. Executive Director of the Du Bois Museum Foundation says that redevelopment entails construction of new bungalow, an upgraded mausoleum, a library, and others at estimated cost of $200 million. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin visited the center on Monday and pledged his support to the project.
The Memorial Center is a serene sanctuary dedicated to the life, legacy, and ideals of Dr. William Edward B. Du Bois, a champion of civil rights and Pan-Africanism. This place, which embodies the pursuit of freedom, dignity, and unity, received little attention until the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Foundation was granted stewardship and operational management of the site. A new phase of restoration and transformation has commenced to give the historic facility a facelift. Following a formal invitation by the W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Foundation, the Speaker of Parliament visited the center to commit his support to the rebuilding process. He was first taken to the mausoleum that houses the tomb of Dr. Du Bois and the ashes of his second wife, Shelley Graham Du Bois.
His spirit continue to make things better for all of us. Amen. All the sacrifices not being made. He rests in perfect peace.
Executive Director of the Foundation led him to tour other sites in the center, reigniting deeper reflection and history.
The project involves building a new museum that will exhibit the 95-year life of Dr. W. Du Bois, where we have a new library, a scholar's residence. We're going to have a restaurant, we're going to have an amphitheater, and we are going to have a new tomb, a mausoleum, that will honor the remains of Du Bois and his wife, second wife, Shelley Graham, as well.
He said the foundation is committed to preserving the historical integrity of a center and positioning it for generations unborn.
That project will start around April 1st, and we believe that by the 23rd of February 2027, it will have been completed, and the new restored bungalow will be dedicated. Number two, we are concurrently working on the fundraising effort for the entire endowment and all of that. We are looking at $200 million.
Speaker of Parliament said the renovation would place the facility at the center of Pan-Africanism.
I will definitely have my support, and not only by word, but by action. And I will invest personally in this project. It's going to be the center, I can tell you, of the world of Pan-Africanism.
The W.E.B. Du Bois Museum Foundation has extended similar invitations to other prominent national figures and traditional authorities as part of its broader stakeholder engagement towards the redevelopment.
Still live on TV3, we are bringing you the latest in the world of business, sports and entertainment right after this.
I love Pasta Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoals.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. The Chamber of Construction Industry says government has begun disbursing about 1 billion cedis to settle outstanding debts owed to contractors. The payments follow an earlier directive from the presidency for funds to be released ahead of the Christmas period.
According to the chamber, its members are owed more than 8 billion cedis, with some of the debts outstanding for nearly a decade. Government has since pledged about 1 billion cedis to begin offsetting the arrears. While welcoming the move, the chamber says the amount represents less than 15% of the total debt stock and is calling for additional funding. Speaking to 3 Business, the chief executive of the chamber, Emmanuel Cherry, also urged government to ensure swift and timely payments.
So 1 million above up to 2 million thereabouts, they are going to receive their payment this week. So as of when the clearance is given, then the payment continues. So basically, you must say government has started something, and even though it was in a tortoise pace, as we are expecting it to be a bit speedy, but it's better than nothing at all. So it's only that the money is not that much, but the assurance that we receive through the Minister for Works, Roads and Highways, that government has made additional commitment to add to the 1 billion. So we are hoping that very soon the 1 billion is going to be increased.
Now, Apollonia City has launched a major internal road construction project aimed at improving connectivity and supporting rapid urban development within the enclave. The initiative is expected to deliver 25 kilometers of modern road infrastructure in its first phase.
The 25-kilometer internal road project is aimed at improving infrastructure, enhancing land value and supporting the area's growing residential and industrial communities. The Ministry for Roads and Highways has welcomed the move, describing it as a commendable step toward complementing government efforts in expanding Ghana's road network.
It is my hope that it will serve as an inspiration to other, estate developers to prioritize the need to provide necessary infrastructure that complement the projects that they carry out.
The board chairman of Apollonia City, Daniel Tete, also highlighted the long-term vision behind the project.
This is a city we are building. The government alone cannot do it all. Now that the government is doing the major roads, we thought it necessary that we should also contribute our quota. I also appeal to the gang community also try and do same to their people.
The project marks a first major rollout of an integrated road network across portions of the 2,325-acre development.
We expect this phase 1 of the 25 kilometers to be undertaken over the next 1.5 years. Then we can be able to launch phase 2, which we anticipate will be another 25 to 30 kilometers. We will have covered drainage systems. We have cycling paths. We have pedestrian walkways and of course landscaped road reservations to ensure that we have a sustainable rollout of infrastructure across the city.
Developers say the project forms part of a broader approach to urban development, positioning Apollonia City as a rapidly expanding hub within the Greater Accra region.
Promasidor Ghana has recognized and rewarded some of its outstanding distributors for their commitment and contribution to the company's growth. The award ceremony climaxed with Tonifel Prestige Limited emerging as the overall national best distributor.
Promasidor Ghana Limited, producers of well-known brands such as Cowbell Milk, Onga Seasoning, Mixi and Yamvita, continues to expand its operations in the fast-moving consumer goods space. As part of this effort, management says rewarding excellence among distributors is key to sustaining growth. Abiodun Ayodeji is the commercial director for Promasidor Ghana Limited.
Thanks to the support from one of our frontline soldiers, that's our distributors. They've been with us for the past 26 years. The essence of the award is to appreciate them, to say a big thank you. In 2026, we're going to work with our trade partners, our distributors, to deepen our retail penetration in the categories that we currently play, and also to explore profitably the other new categories that we intend to venture into 2026.
The operational manager for Tonifel Prestige Limited, Elias Yao Banayine, shared his excitement after being adjudged the overall national distributor.
It was a great feeling. I mean, we give all thanks to God. You know, we give thanks to our customers, to everybody who has helped us push this far. We thank all our staff, everybody who has been working with us to make sure we are still here, and being the national best, it means everything to us. And this year we're trying to make sure we work harder than last year to maintain this position.
Through a strong distribution network, the company says it remains committed to delivering quality and affordable nutritional product to households nationwide.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
The sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Well, after suffering a 4-2 defeat on penalties against Aduana Stars, news reaching us this evening is that Karim Zito has resigned from his role as Asante Kotoko head coach. The following 3 Sports report has more.
So it's now official. Asante Kotoko will be going into Sunday's game against Heart of Oak in the Ghana Premier League without their head coach Karim Zito, who has stepped down from his role after an IMC meeting today. Now, the Porcupine faithfuls were not happy with Karim Zito with the recent results, and it was coupled or doubled by what happened on Sunday, where they lost to Aduana on penalties in the MTN FA Cup. That saw their exit, and meaning that Kotoko cannot defend their title. Remember that Karim Zito joined Kotoko in April 2025, taking over from Prosper Nate Ogum with about 6 matches to end the season. He finished 4th. But what was significant is that he went on to win the MTN FA Cup. That was massive for him and Asante Kotoko. And they were hoping that there will be some continuity in the form of Asante Kotoko. But this season, it has been very, very torrid for them. Currently, they are around 5th on the Ghana Premier League table, and it looks like they may not be able to win the Ghana Premier League. And the FA Cup, which presented them the only realistic chance of winning the silverware, has also eluded them. Now, the big question everyone is asking is that who takes over from Karim Zito? This Sunday, Asante Kotoko will be at home as they take on their bitterest rivals, Accra Heart of Oak.
Well, let's head to Kumasi now, where we hear from our reporter, Richard Echampon. He spoke to some executives of Asante Kotoko just to understand the reason why Zito was under so much pressure.
Kotoko's FA Cup elimination has resulted in discussions around the sack of head coach Abdul Karim Zito. The management of the club invited the coach to a meeting. We spoke to Samuel Safuduku, the communications director of Asante Kotoko. And lawyer Safuduku tells me that the club's management is not satisfied with the performance of Abdul Karim Zito and the team in general.
He has put in much efforts on his part. He has not slept on the job, except that I cannot say that we are fully satisfied. We are not fully satisfied. But he has done the best he could, but we are not satisfied with it.
Reporting from Kumasi, my name is Richard Echampon, Akuma Sports.
Well, before we go, let's head to Europe, where Birmingham City manager Chris Davis has praised Ibrahim Osman's performance against Leicester City over the weekend, highlighting his speed and 1v1 abilities as well as fearlessness. Osman scored in his 3rd game for the club in a 2-1 win over the Foxes on Saturday, impressing the head coach due to his positivity and willingness.
He's been a great outlet for us, real speed, loves to be 1v1. I want him to take risks. He's never going to beat the man every single time he gets the ball. He's going to, sometimes it won't work, but I love his positivity. I want him to keep that fearlessness. But what I love most is that he combines that with hard work. He works hard for the team. He'll run, he'll press, he'll do the dirty side of the game really well, and he did that.
We'll be getting more analysis on the Kotoko situation as Karim Zito has resigned from the club just about 4 or 5 days before they face Heart of Oak in the Ghana Premier League. You can get more analysis on Sports Station later tonight on TV3 at 9 p.m. and also on our social media handles at 3 Sports GH. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
My line of work
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. I am Esiedua Afeni. Now, in the world of entertainment, season 17 of TV3's award-winning kids reality show, Talented Kids, has officially been launched with 16 gifted young talents introduced to kickstart the competition. It promises to be 13 weeks of captivating performances beginning Sunday, February 15. The 17th anniversary of Talented Kids comes with a big bang. 16 versatile and amazing talents are set to thrill audiences over the next 3 months. Designed to unearth exceptional young talent, the launch of season 17 saw patrons trooping to TV3 Studio B to support their favorite act.
Dogby Aga organize the youth to target a particular spot on the wall.
One after the other, the talents treated the audience to mind-blowing performances. The other talents include instrumentalists, singers, and poets.
Put the horse before the cart and tell us when to start. Our dream has always been to let our voice be a blessing. But without preparation, how could we arrive at our destination?
On this great stage of Talented Kids Season 17, we learned that one finger cannot lift a load. For behind our steps are mentors, cameras, applause, and grace.
The search for the next kid superstar has just begun.
I got the opportunity to watch the auditions, and I was blown away by the sheer talents, the creativity, and the raw energy that that the kids play. So, if that is anything to go by, I know this season is going to be the best we've had yet.
Catch the fun, the excitement, and the breathtaking moment as 16 outstanding talents get ready to wow you every Sunday. That's it for entertainment. I'm Esiedua Afeni. Over to you, Portia.
Thank you so much. It's now time for international news. And Palestinians, Arab countries, and Israeli anti-occupation groups have condemned new steps approved by Israel's security cabinet for the occupied West Bank, saying they amount to de facto annexation. Far-right Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich announced the moves that would make it easier for Jewish settlers to take over Palestinian land. All settlements are seen as illegal under international law. The measures, which are expected to be signed off by Israel's top military commander for the West Bank, aim to increase Israeli control over the territory in terms of property law, planning, licensing, and enforcement.
And that's it for our package. Thank you so much for watching News 360. I am Martin Asiedu Dati.
And I am Portia Gabodu. Join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight, as well as Sports Station at 9 p.m. Good evening.